Habits are formed to solve our problems. So you were doing it because you were bored, you were feeling bad, you needed a jolt, you needed some chemical reaction happening in your body. That's why you did it. Habits are designed for that. So the mind, the way it dealt with that was like, oh, let's just have this sugary drink. We'll feel a lot happier after we do it. We don't feel right now, but we will. And that's a habit.
Well, if you're like most people, you probably struggle to get going in the morning or you're dreading the next day the night before you go to bed. If so, this episode is for you. I interview Dr. Lunide, who helps people specifically have the best morning routine ever. That's what she does. And so if she does that all day long, she's obviously pretty good at it. And we dive into all of the details, some of them easier to do than others. But I learned a lot. I have a blast. She is fantastic, and I know you guys are going to love this episode. So stay tuned in just a few moments for the next episode of the Finally Marketing That Works podcast. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Finally Marketing That Works podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater. I'm here with another new friend out of Southern California again. I've had some guests in Southern California. Dr. Lunide is in beautiful San Diego, and she helps people with the best morning routine possible. And so today we're going to dive into that and how that applies to your life and your business, and of course, your marketing. And I know I'm going to get a couple punches in the guts probably today because I think I probably could have a way better morning routine than I already have. So I don't want to take any more away from her. I will let you, Dr. Lunide, introduce yourself, and then we'll dive in after that.
Hi, hey Mitchell. Thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be here. So, as you mentioned, I am Dr. Lunide Lewis. I am a habit psychologist by nature and saw the need to actually put in place, see the importance of habits in the morning. And so that's only because myself was struggling a while back at my 9 to 5, and I was looking for inspiration. I wanted to start my own business, but I didn't know how and what to do. And so I thought, what's the easiest place to start? Free. Yeah. So I started looking at other successful people, and they were active. They had energy. They woke up with a smile every day. They were just really, really engaged in having a rich life. Me, on the other hand, I was lethargic. I was tired. I was anger. I was resorting to alcohol to numb my pain. I was frustrated, and I hated Mondays just like everyone else because I was just simply unhappy and didn't was burnt out. So I start out to start finding out some of the things that can help me revitalize my day. And so I looked at Tony Robbins, I looked at Oprah Winfrey, I looked at those people. I was like, what are they doing that actually help them be more productive throughout the day or have more energy throughout the day? And that's when the aha about light bulb went off, and it was like they wake up at the same time every day. They meditate every day. They write in their journal. They have a gratitude journal. I was like, oh,
Hmm.
so that's what I'm going to try then. So I set out to try those things. I started waking up a bit earlier and then meditating for 5 minutes and then working out for 15 minutes. And then it was within like 3 days. I saw it's almost like a piece of calm came over me. I was more proficient at work, and I was still at my job at the time. I'm no longer there, and I was more engaging. I wasn't thinking about what my next sentence was gonna be when I'm talking to someone. I was like in the moment and present, and it was all because 3 days ago I just started a meditation practice for only 5 minutes, and it was like, wow, there is power here. And then working out, so I decided I want more. Can I live? Can this be sustained? Can I do this long term? And who else can I learn from? And so I bought a mic, got on my laptop, started a podcast, and I was like, I'm going to talk to successful entrepreneurs. I'm going to find out how their morning routine, how this little habit done in the morning for 10 to 20 minutes of their day can actually set them up for success. And Mitchell, I have to tell you, it was mind blowing the stories that I heard. And that's when the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast started. I'm talking to successful entrepreneurs, millionaires from all over the world about what they do, how they get up, dress up, and show up. It's an intimate topic. I'm telling you, in the bedroom now.
Yeah.
And so much has been learned from that, that I had to tell the world, like I had to share it with other people, like you can control your day, you can control your emotions, and you can control the outcome, your productivity, and you get to control your business in return. It was powerful.
And I know that a flip side of that too is I know people will say, well, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time for this. And I know I've been guilty in the past of saying that too, but I always have to look at myself in the mirror and go, no, you make time for what's most important. You will. Like it's just how if it's waking up 30 minutes earlier so you can work out for 30 minutes or watch a TV show or whatever it is, you will make time for the things that are important. And so, but I think having the actual routine, like as you're saying, is
Hmm.
super important, because if you just kind of go fly by the seat of your pants, which I would say right now I'm in between, I guess. I don't have a strict routine of like at the moment of an alarm clock. Right now it's my son is the alarm clock. He's almost 2, so he wakes up and he's waking up around between 6 and 7. So I'm usually up around between 6 and 7 in the morning, and
Yeah.
him and I wake up and we have a routine. Him and I, we make breakfast together and we hang out for a little bit, play games. So that's like my morning routine at the moment. But it's I really would like to start waking up earlier before him if he's like, which I'm like, oh my gosh, like that means I'm going to be start waking up maybe at 5:30, 5 o'clock, which I know for some people that maybe that's not early, but waking up early so I can do just some of the things you mentioned, like doing a little workout. Specifically, I like when you mentioned meditation, for me to be, I always do like a devotional on the Bible
Hmm.
app, just to get my heart right for the day and get me just, I guess, excited for the day. And that's
Yeah,
if I don't do that, I always feel like there's a difference in my day and how I feel if I don't do it in the morning
for sure.
before the day starts. And that's just me. Everybody, of course, has their thing, but I 100% in agreement with you. So I would love to know what time. Well, we'll look at your routine, like actual Dr. Lunide's routine. What time do you typically try to go to bed and you wake up? We'll start with that.
Yeah, and it varies when you do have kids. It depending on what's going on in your life, what phase of your life you're in, right? But you want to have some non-negotiables. And I've established some non-negotiables because I know if I don't do it, the day picks a negative vibe, a negative energy that kind of just carries along. And so some of the mistakes that I used to make is waking up and checking the phone in the
Mm,
morning, emails or text messages. And that sets the tone where I allow somebody else to take over my agenda versus me taking care of my own agenda. Because honestly, Macho, we have to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of everyone else. You know, with your son, you have your routine with him. If the need to be more present or be there for you to get it out of the way. It's how I say it. When you take that 15, 20 minutes for yourself, you take care of yourself first, you get it out of the way. Now you're ready for whatever the day's going to throw at you. And with that in mind, it makes it a lot easier to set the time for a half hour. So I personally, now I'm waking up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. Don't be alarmed by that. I'm naturally a morning person. That's the beauty. You have to find out what's your chronotype. Have you heard of the chronotype test?
I haven't.
Okay, so that we're falling into, there's a sleep pattern. Dr. Michael Bruce put it together where we have chronotypes where it establishes when's the best time for you to go to bed, when's the best time for you to wake up. They're into four animals. There's the lion, the bear, the dolphin, and the wolf. I myself is a lion, the earliest to rise, and that time is 5 a.m. I'm doing an extra step early because I meditate longer
Okay.
because I need the meditation. But 5 a.m. is the earliest the lions wake up. Then you followed by the bear at 7 o'clock. And it's easier because depending on your body type, how much sleep you need, because the morning routine starts the night before.
Mm.
Yeah. And so you have to know that to take advantage of it. That way you're not pushing against the grain. You're not forcing it. That it's natural for you to wake up. So I have people who wake up at 5, 6, 7, 7:30, the latest, and then the day gets going depending on that. So for me, I'm up at about 4 o'clock, but I wake up, the first thing I do is hydrate. I need to drink a glass of water because it eliminate toxins from the body that accumulates the night before while you were sleeping, but also you were at a fasted state, right? You haven't eaten or drink water for 6 to 8 hours, and you know the brain is 70% water, so you need to hydrate first thing in the morning. And the best trick is it actually gets rid of brain fog.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but a glass of water in the morning will clean out your system and eliminate brain fog to kind of get you that get help you get up faster.
Okay.
For lack of better words. So I do that. I drink a glass of water and it starts the night before. So I put it on my nightstand before I go to bed.
Okay.
So it's there waiting, and then from there I get ready for my meditation, because we are at what we call the subconscious mind is that an alpha state. The subconscious mind is still working for you. You're half awake, half asleep, and so affirmations is a good time to do right then and there. Meditation's a good thing to do because you're capitalizing on a chemical reaction that's happening in your brain, where you're suggested, you're more prone to suggestions, good suggestions, and so you can carry those affirmations with you throughout the day. So I meditate. My meditation used to be 5 minutes. Right now it's about half hour.
Wow.
That's just the season in my life. That's what I need right now. When I need to go, 5 minutes, and I'm prime, ready to go. But right now it's half hour, so I give it more time. So I wake up a bit earlier because I know that, because you got to plan it out. So I do my meditation, and right after my meditation, I do my journal, my gratitude journal. I list three things that I am grateful for. And number one, and I was telling you off air earlier, is I am grateful for this glass of water that I get to drink, because I'm from Haiti, and that's a luxury because we don't have clean running water, free access to that anyway. So that to me just kind of grounds me and brings me right back to like my humble roots, but also sets the tone of gratitude. So I can find more things to be grateful for throughout the day. And it's the simple things, the little things, right? It's not I'm grateful for my car, my house. It's more I'm grateful for my husband who's laying next to me. Or I'm grateful for this bed that I'm laying on. And it doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be too big, but the little tiny things, you're grateful for your son, his energy, he's vibrant, the tiniest thing. And then that kind of releases serotonin for you to find more things to be happy for throughout the day. That's like non-negotiable. So from there I do, from gratitude journaling, I think about my goals, what I want to accomplish. We call that visualizing for a few minutes, and then I'm ready for my workout.
Okay.
Before I get up for my workout, though, I make my bed. Making your bed. I have this quote: "A made up bed is a made up mind."
What if your husband's still laying in bed? You just make it over him and just like tuck it
if he's if he's laying there, I let him make the bed. Now,
in?
now it's good to have a clean bed for everyone in the household, because you're not only coming to bed to a clean made bed at the end of a long day, or you don't know what the day's gonna throw at you, right? So you want to come and find that relaxation place that you call your zen. But also, just that activity is your first act of things you accomplish. You did something. You made your bed, as simple as that. You did that, and it kind of breeds more productivity throughout the day. Then you can start checking other things off. It's easier that way. So making up the bed, then I'm off to work out. I do 30-minute strength training that I do every morning, and I work out. After my workout, I hop in the shower, and I make sure the last 30 seconds is ice cold. So I take a cold shower in the morning to actually help wake me up, not just even more, but now I'm ready for the day, because it helps you be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And as a business owner, you know how many times throughout the day we gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, where customers coming at us with employees, business, entrepreneurship, that's all it is. You just a constant learning and growing. And so that cold shower 30 seconds, and I'm not the only one that swears by this. That's came from the entrepreneurs I talked to on the podcast. That's why I had to put it all on the app. I created the Hit Savers app because it makes it easy to see the items I'm doing and actually walk me through them. But now I have it on the iTunes that everyone has access to it. But I learned from all these successful entrepreneurs. Remember, it started with Oprah Winfrey. It started with Tony Robbins, and now all these other entrepreneurs like yourself that have been doing these successful habits, principles, and now they become my own.
Mm, so good. Okay, so that's all these things you just mentioned. You're probably finishing all these by the time most of America is still sleeping and they're about to get up, which is crazy because you think about your morning routine till shower. What is it for you? 6 a.m. still 6:30 in the morning. You're
I,
finishing shower.
my shower is about, yeah, it's time that I'm at the 5:45. I'm done. My day starting at 5:45 a.m. So if you start at 6, you'll be done by, right, you'll be done by 7. You'll be done by 7:10. It's not a long time, but then again, your workout doesn't have to be half hour. Your workout can be as short as going taking the dog out for a walk. Let's start there, because habits have to, you have to gradually increase and start your habits small. I've been doing this for the last year, for many years now, so it's easy for me because that's how habits are formed. Repetition. It's been repeated enough time that it's automatic. Like when I don't feel like waking up, my body's jolting me, literally jolting me to go put my Spanx on and my sneakers on. Okay, that's the power of habits. We first make them, and then they make us.
Mm, I love that. And I would say my biggest um, hurdle is when I do set an alarm. Boy, I know you saw this on your website. I hit that snooze button a lot. I love, I'm like, oh, 5 more minutes, nine
Yeah.
more minutes, whatever my iPhone resets to, because my iPhone's my alarm or whatever. So what would be your tip to? Is there a tip to beat that, or you really just got to power through your mind when you're half asleep to go, no, I'm going to stand up and drink water right away? Like, is there a process you would encourage somebody who's struggling with that?
Yeah, I would say it starts the night before. Let's look at your sleep pattern. How many hours of sleep do you need, and how many are you actually getting? Right. So if you like tell me, I can, by talking to you, I can see you're getting up between 6 and 7, right? And that's the sweet time for you. Yes, that's how, because your that's the time your son gets up. Now, would you wake up earlier if your son wasn't waking you up?
I want to, but I wouldn't. I would like my wife and I could sleep in so easily because we love it, but I want to wake up earlier than him. So
Yes. So you may not need to. So it could be that from listening to you that you need a full 8 hours of sleep to function. And so for you, my husband's that way. So I have, you could fall under the category of a bear. So to deal with that, you would actually make sure you are in bed by 10:30 to 11 o'clock.
okay.
No later than that. Are you sleeping later than that now?
Going to bed later than that?
Yeah.
Usually, yes. We are weird. We have a bad schedule. Probably we can always be in the expert. We like I know last night specifically was around midnight when we went to bed, and that's just common because. And here's why for us. And please pick it apart. I'm open to anything
I'm
you want
going
to.
to.
Okay, so we put the little guy down. We start his bath at 7:30, and we do bed at 8 o'clock. And so after he goes to bed, I usually will do a little bit more work while my wife takes a bath because he's asleep. It's quiet. I can focus
Yep.
on the things without distraction because we both work from home. So if we hear he's sleeping right now in his nap, so that's why it's all quiet out there. He's in his nap, but the put him down, and then I'm weird. I love to go grocery shopping. It's one of my favorite hobbies to do. So I'll sometimes go out afterwards, just me grocery shopping. But I'll come back and Shuzi will get out of the bath and we'll be ready to like wind down around 9:30 ish
Mhm.
to 10, and that's when we'll watch a movie together, watch a TV show, kind of just do our wind down till 11:30, and that's when I roll over. I usually look at my phone for a little bit, and whatever, and then it's between 11 and 12. Usually every night I go to bed and then wake up
Yeah.
between 6 and 7 with the little guy.
Thank you for sharing that, because that sheds a lot of insight.
Okay.
Now, if you were able to change that to about half hour earlier,
Okay.
if you shut down half hour earlier, it'll be a lot easier for you to wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock. You will not hit the alarm. So here's why. Because and I learned this from studying neuroscience, the brain and neuroscience. It's because there's a chemical reaction that happens in your body between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And if you are not in bed between 10 and 11:30, you go past that, you're not taking advantage of it, which means your body gives you a second jolt. Like, we need to be awake right now. So then your melatonin decreases.
Mm.
So then you're no longer feeling so tired, but it's not working in your benefit. It's almost like when we go out drinking, or we go out to the bar, we go out clubbing, we get home at 2 a.m. We wake up the next day just like, what the heck happened? Feel like I got hit by a brick. It's not just the alcohol. It's because your chemical reaction is thrown off. It's set by the sunrise and the sunset. The minute the sunset, melatonin starts rising, which is time for you to go to bed, so you can take advantage of the chemical reaction that happens for recovery, regeneration of the
Mhm.
body. If you are up past that hour, then you're shot. It don't matter. You're not gonna get up in the morning. Everything started off wrong already. You forget about a morning routine because you've already started on the wrong foot. literally. So for you, my friend, if you were to start just half hour before, say let's say 11:30, your cutoff. So if you need to unwind, 11 o'clock is when you turn off the TV and stuff. 11:30, right? And then you could set your alarm. You could set it up for yourself. You go to sleep 15 minutes earlier every time until you reach that 11 or 10:30 bedtime.
Okay.
Okay. And then when the alarm goes off in the morning, it's a lot easier to wake up. And that your wake up time is around 6 o'clock. It's your sweet spot. That's what the bear is. That's just one animal. That's just your chronotype. I'm identifying from what you told me. So
Okay.
that's your chronotype. It's easier for you to wake up. And so when you do wake up, you instead of hitting the snooze, you can actually do grab the glass of water, because that will help open your system, so that
Okay.
you don't keep hitting the snooze, because your body now has something in it. You're no longer still cuddle up in under the covers with the same environment. You've changed the environment by adding water to your system, and so
Okay.
it'll be a lot easier for you to wake up. And then you can follow that by meditation, by closing your eyes. I call it intentional silence. For everyone who wants to start, I don't say go meditate for half hour, go meditate for an hour. I say practice intentional silence for 3 to 5 minutes, and that's just you laying there, taking some deep breaths. That's it. That can be your meditation. That can be it, and it will wake you up.
Okay. And so I know you mentioned the wolf, the bear, the dolphin, and the one that you were
Lion.
lion. Thank you. How where do people go to figure that out, or how would they figure out which one they are to kind of get a grasp of that? Because I've never heard that before, and I like that picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So on my website, you'll get a graph of it, and but also it's called the it's what it is a quiz. There's a quiz that I give you
Okay.
that identify who you are, so that, and then I send you a whole chart of like when's the best time to be productive, when is the best time to do brainstorming work, when's the best time to take a nap. Like for you, I can imagine, will need to recharge mid-afternoon. You start hitting a slump after lunch, after 1 2 o'clock, and it's either you go for a walk or you take a nap to recharge,
Hmm. Okay.
to get you going. So that tells you, like, it breaks down your day for you. And when, because now you're working with your body and not against it.
Man, and this is good, and I want to try it all because I'll tell you this. So in the last, and I know this, but obviously being hydrated is one of the best ways to be just feel good and productive or whatever. And so I think it was about I think I'm at 6 weeks now. I cut out like for the most part sugar. I don't want to be like white sugar. So I took
Yeah.
out like nah, I love a good soda. Love me some good Coke, cherry Coke, Dr Pepper. Those are delicious. I love a good white mocha and coffee. So I was like, no, I'm gonna cut out all the like extra sugars and just drink tons of water. And if I get coffee, just with some cream, just cut out all those
Yeah.
extras. And it's crazy how quickly once I do that, because I've done it before, how I just feel better. And I can't really explain it, but I feel like I'm clearer and I'm there's not a fog that I have when I'm off of all that stuff. And so then it's actually really enjoyable to have one. When you've done that,
Hmm.
have one Coke or a couple, when you're like, ooh, that tastes really good, and then back into the water. But I'm like, man, it's crazy just how water alone just can drastically change so much. Just water, and for that whole routine you're talking about. And I'm assuming you would agree because I know water is a huge part of a routine, right?
I 100% agree. I'm eliminating all that white sugar and all that stuff. It really cleans your body out. But water is, you need it to, it's life. Water is life. It is like how I would put it. And it's necessary. You need it. But the reason why you're doing so successful with it, Mitchell, is because you have a reward system at the end of it. At the end of you cutting out sugar, because there's a way habits are designed. You have a cue, a trigger for it. That's something that kind of starts your behavior. Like, oh, I need some sugar. I need to drink this, to feel, because it's an emotional state we crave when we do a behavior. For you, you want the caffeine, you want the jolt, you want the sweetness. And so that becomes a trigger for you, usually when either you're bored, and then you have it, you enjoy it, and then that's the behavior, and then the reward is you're satisfied. Now my body's happy, I did that. Now you've changed the reward. So that's how you've been able to build a new habit. The trigger's the same, the cue's the same. You change the behavior and you change the reward. Now the reward is you're gonna feel cleaner. That's the inner state you want. You're gonna be lighter on your feet. Your skin's gonna look better, but also You are in control to say, you know what, I can reward myself with this thing. At the end of the week, I can, at Friday night, I can have a bottle of soda, I can have some soda. Like for me, it's fried chicken. And my I retain fried chicken. Let me tell you that. Okay. And I salt and pepper chicken wings are my favorite. And it's battered, it's fried, it's salty. Now I've associated with a victory. When I'm celebrating something, I will order salt and pepper chicken wings. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna have it every day. I'm not celebrating every day, but if I got I closed a deal, I had an amazing week, I had an amazing podcast, I celebrate at the end of the week with salt and pepper wings. Now the reward is, it's not every day I'm doing it. I save it for a big opportunity, which is what you've done. You're saying now when I'm ready to have it, I can have just one, and then I go back to what makes me stay alive and
Hmm.
stay healthy. And so that's how we got to think about habits and how they are forming, because it's easy for you now because you hijack the loop. You didn't
And
even know you were doing it.
yeah. And I hate the idea of being, and I know there's other things I'm sure, but like being addicted to something, I just hate that even thinking about that going, I'm addicted to something. Like I rely on sugar so much that it controls
Hmm.
me to go, I need to go buy that coffee or drink that soda
Yeah.
to feel good about myself. I don't, it just makes me feel like bad to be like, I'm addicted to something. But I know I was definitely that with the sugary drinks because I enjoyed them and I felt good, but then I would feel bad after drinking it. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
That's what habits are formed to solve our problems. So you were doing it because you were bored, you were feeling bad, you needed a jolt, you needed some chemical reaction happening in your body. That's why you did it. Habits are designed for that. So the mind, the way it dealt with that was like, oh, let's just have this sugary drink. We'll feel a lot happier after we do it. We don't feel right now, but we will. And that's a habit. You had a habit of drinking soda and drinking sugary stuff. Right now you are unconsciously changing that to create a new habit to fulfill that same innate desire. So when you're bored now, you'll reach for something healthier, but at the end of the tunnel, I can reward myself with whatever I want. That puts you in control. And that's what habits do. It's almost like an algorithm working in the back of the brain, in the background, and then just driving our behaviors. We don't even know it. It's all subconscious. It's all happening because we lived in that space 95% of the time during the day.
Mm.
We're on autopilot, Mitchell. All of us, we are on autopilot. And if you know that you are on autopilot, then you put in the right behaviors so that it can work for the goals you want to achieve.
Yeah, and the right fuel for our
Yeah.
bodies. If we're talking about airplane, I love analogies. So if we're talking, obviously airplanes, put it on autopilot. What do we need to make that? We got to maintain the airplane. We got to make sure it has the right fuel. It's been taken care of, inspected. I don't know all that. I love that type of thought process of what's going on, and we got to obviously take care of our bodies to make sure they function like we want them to and have the energy we want to. And so for these small business owners who are listening, or anybody who's tuning into the podcast, they're going, oh boy, I go to sleep at midnight. I'm waking up at 8:30 to get out the door by 8:45 so I can make my 9 o'clock job. I always grab a Starbucks Trenta white mocha with an extra shot. And at lunch, I get McDonald's. Nothing against McDonald's. I love me some McDonald's, but we all know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
then at dinner, we pick up something fast food on the way home, and they're just in this this rut. They can't get out, but they're like, I want to do this, but this sounds really hard. But I know it's gonna be better for my business, better for my life. What's that first step? Because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, but I wouldn't. Is it best to go cold turkey and just go boom? Today I'm going to go to sleep at 10, wake up at 6. I'm going to have this routine for working out. And is it best to do it from the get-go or add one thing? Today I'm going to go to sleep at 10:30. I'm going to start with just that. What would you kind of, to wean people off, what do you kind of suggest to people to get started?
The latter. Start slow, start small, start with one thing, because every time you introduce something new to the brain, it will shut down. It's fight or flight.
Mm.
It will flee and it will fight you to the ground. Okay, and you will lose. And so you do not want to be abrupt with your changes, and that's the thing with a habit. You got to coax it down the stairs slowly and surely. You don't break it overnight. You Plus you got to replace it, right? Because habits are designed to solve your problems, so they're there for a reason. So you got to find a new way to solve that problem, a healthier way to solve that problem. A great example is when I was working, if I'm really stressed, I would come home and get a glass of wine and turn on TV and watch Netflix because I had a long day of work. It was stressful. I just want to de-escalate now.
Mhm.
Like, don't talk to me, don't show me anything. Just put me in front of the idiot box, give me a glass of wine, and I'm good. Okay. Now, what is that problem solving for me? It was a stressful day. It was a long day. I need a minute. I need to. I'm anxious. I'm stressed right now. Or I need to calm down. So now the alternative is to actually come home and towards the end of it, right? Come home, put my sneakers in front of the door, and then instead of the TV and the glass of wine, let me go for a 5 minute walk first. That's how you start small. You put on your shoes. You could as small as like put your shoes on and then take them off. That's day one. You are successful. Day two, you tie your laces and you step outside the door and come right back inside the house. That's great. Now, day three, you're actually gonna go a 10-minute walk. You're just gonna walk. And then day four, you're gonna walk another 10 minutes. Day five, you're gonna jog that 10 minutes. Again, you steadily grow it and progressively build onto it. Now for me, I come home, I don't look at the TV, I don't look at the glass of wine. I put on my shoes and I go for a half hour run. Right, I replace the habit of being stressed from a stressful day and needing to de-escalate, and then you running, you get serotonin, you forget about your problem, you forget about the day, or you can be more clear when you come home, so that way you can actually be present with your family instead of like, don't talk to me, don't look at me right now, I just need a minute. Versus you can go get that minute while you are moving your body. You gotta move the body. And so for business owners, we're so busy, where 110 things are coming at us every minute. And so we have to make these decisive decisions. We have to make them fast, and we have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our business. Because the business is an entity, is an extension of you. If you're not healthy, your business won't be healthy. Your business growth will never surpass your mental growth.
Mm.
Never. Jim Rohn says something along that line. Or in order for your business to grow, you need to grow. So this is make or break right now, right? You're looking at your business, say, if I really want to do this, but I have these habits that are not suiting and helping me get that goal, you think about it. Unless you change, nothing else will change around you.
Man, it's like the Bible right here. This is good. This is really good. So for anybody, obviously you've helped lots of people get routine set and kind of kick the old bad habits. What have you found is the most difficult one for somebody to kick? Is there one specifically that they're like they don't want to give it up more than any other and then have a harder time giving it up? Is it certain foods? Is it waking up early, going to bed early? Like which one is the one that comes up more than the other?
Before I answer that, I like to talk about the one that is harder to adapt, which is mind blowing to me. The cold shower. People are afraid of cold showers. If you're afraid of that tiny thing, what else are you afraid of? Come on.
I will say for the cold part, I've done that before and it's refreshing, but I'd rather have it at the beginning so I can end with the hot part.
Whichever way you go about it, you get it done because the benefits are the same. But it goes to show you, if you're so rigid as to just turn the knob and get the cold, or even move it from lukewarm to room temperature, from hot. If you can't get your mental psyche to do just that, you can't do anything else. You're gonna hit roadblocks and you're gonna be like, oh, too uncomfortable, I can't grow my business. Oh, I cannot do the branding strategy because people are not gonna receive it well. Oh, I can't do the market. I'm not gonna run ads because I don't want fear rejection, because you failed to turn up the knob to go from lukewarm to cold water for 30 seconds this morning. Okay. So I answer that question for you. It's hard for people to do it, and it
Okay.
baffles me that they can't do that one, because it really is a mental thing. It's a mental thing because you don't see how it can benefit you, but it's working in the hindsight. So one thing that I find that people, it's hard for them to give up, or right, that's the question. Something
Mhm.
that they are doing and they cannot stop doing it. It's checking social media, or in terms of going to bed early, or staying up, checking the phone, social media check before bed, the LED light, all that keeping you up, because if the more light you're exposed to during those primal hours of melatonin drop, the more the body receives it as we need to stay awake. So I'm gonna make sure you are awake because this is life or
Mm.
death. When it really isn't, right? So you're just producing a lot of cortisol when you really don't need to right before bed. And so it's hard for you to one, get in bed and stay in bed, but also get quality sleep. Morning routine starts the night before. You have to get quality sleep for all this, anything that I'm mentioning to go into effect.
Well, I'm encouraged, and I think I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try the waking up a little bit earlier, and definitely the water in the morning. I'm guilty. That's funny. I sleep with water next to the bed on the nightstand because I'll wake up sometimes and just be thirsty, and I'll drink some water. I'll drink it before bed, but I'll usually wake up, do my quick morning routine, and then decide I'll sip some water or drink some, but I don't like drink it right away. And that's probably the biggest thing I need to do because I'm sure that'll make me go, oh, all right, and wake
The
up. And
needle
I know the
mover,
culture.
the needle mover. It's the needle mover. It's the one thing that you do that will change everything else. It's like we call these keystone habits. You do it, you do it, and everything else gets better in your life. It's almost like having the drinking the water. It starts the domino effect of great things. You're awake, you're alert, you know what to do, you need to tackle the day. It's like eating dinner with family, having family dinner. It encourages communication, checking in on everyone, and in that enhance builds your communication, your relationship, not just with this organization, the family, but your business, other people outside of your immediate organization, right? So it's keystone habit. That's what they do. They just make everything else better, but we have to know what they are and do them, and expect that everything else will fall into place like the domino. Another one is the making your bed. It's a domino effect. It's easy, it's simple. I'm not asking you to go lift 300 pounds. I'm asking you to flip your mattress, I mean your bed sheet. Make sure it's straightened out. And it's these little things that will kind of build the habitual loop to start building other things, because you start with those tiny things that you're doing anyway, and you will start to say, oh, okay, I'm gonna go work out today, I'm gonna meditate for more than 5 minutes, oh, guess what, I'm gonna read for 20 minutes today. And then you start developing, you start growing, and then you'll just watch your business grow, you'll just watch your relationships enrich, you'll just watch how present you are in life, how rich your life becomes.
Mm.
And it's not just for me, I mean, listen to the podcast, the guests that come on there that talks about this, and it was just this reoccurring themes, these things that I just mentioned. There, if you count them, there are about 7 of them. And then I put them in the app to make it a lot easier for people to do, because they kept coming up. I was like, yo, everybody who is drinking water in the morning, everybody's working out in the morning, and everybody's meditating. My non-negotiables are those 3 things. Everybody's doing this stuff. And I was like, okay, there's gotta be some truth here, there's some science here. And then I delve into it more, saw the psychology, saw the neuroscience behind it, and I was like, wow.
Mm. And it gives a whole new meaning to that phrase, living with purpose, because I feel like this is doing that. It's getting you in the right track to having your life mean something and be the best it can possibly be, is to start, of course, having a good routine and being productive and
Yeah.
actually like being fulfilled at the end of the day, instead of just always being in that horrible mindset and negative and all that
Yeah.
fun.
In that purpose, it gives you tenacity and energy. It's amazing, because how else are you going to be expected to work 12, 15-hour days as a business owner if you don't take care of yourself to do the things to give you the energy to do so? Because you've said that your day gets chaotic when you don't do the little things. It's that energy that the day it unfolds in. Well, the morning routine is you're taking care of yourself for 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes before the world gets up, or before you let anyone else in. So you do it for you. That way, when you're ready to put in 10 hours, you still have energy by hour 10.
Mm.
You're still striving, you're still going strong. That's why you do it.
And I'll give you a perfect example for this. It just happened yesterday for me. So we were gone for a lot of the summer. We were visiting family up in Alaska, where I'm from, and we were gone. So we obviously had all this mail, a ton of mail when I came back home. And I have a love-hate relationship with the mail, of course. So saw all the mail that was on my desk, and I was just like, "Oh, Lord have mercy." And I said, and I just kept kind of in a way putting it off because there was other things I needed to do once we got back home. And I finally like tackled it yesterday, and it was kind of just like this. It was just looming over me like this freaking rain cloud, and I was like, I just got to do it. So I went through, put everything through, all the stuff away that wasn't needed. Went through and it's like, oh, I need to pay these bills that were needed to be done. I needed to call these people to confirm whatever the things we're doing. I got them all done, and I tell you, the feeling of being complete and fulfilled after finishing just the mail, I felt like I can conquer freaking anything right now. I was so excited. I was just like, yeah, and I just did the mail. I mean, so I get that. I love that feeling though. That I don't even know what you call that, but I love that feeling that I got where I really did. I was like ready to go. What's next? I'm ready to do something else now to feel fulfilled. And man, when I don't have that, the days just they're not enjoyable. They're
It's
not.
not. It's that euphoria that you get just from the act of doing, because we are social being. We love be a being and actually getting things done and accomplishing, because we're always seeking the next success.
Mm,
That's that feeling you get after every goal you've accomplished. You get that feeling, and then you're it's done, it's gone. It doesn't stay and last with you till you didn't go to sleep and woke up like I can conquer the world. It's really short lived. And that's why we're pursuers. We're always pursuing the next thing. We're always pursuing that next high, right? Like that next success,
mm,
because that's who we are, and we always got to keep achieving and keep learning and keep growing. And that's why we do it, because that's that the innate desire to feel alive.
mm,
And so when you make your bed, you get that feeling that you just expressed. And then that's when I'm talking about it breeds more productivity, because now you have this feeling, I just made my bed, as simple as that, but I do feel like I'm ready to conquer the world now. And then you go ahead and send out some email. You draft emails, you draft your marketing campaign, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to do the next thing. That's what
mm.
I'm talking about, hacking your brain.
So good. All right. So anybody who's listening, if they want to get in touch with you, to have help from you, your services, your podcast, I'd love you to please give a plug for anything you want to mention right now before we wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. So Best Morning Routine Ever podcast is on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify. You can find it anywhere, and you get amazing content similar to this with other amazing guests that come on my show. And Mitchell, I would love to have you on there too. So we'll talk about that and get you on the show, and talk about the success stories and businesses, all from all walks of life. And so that's the podcast. And my website is Best Morning Routine Ever. I keep it consistent. If you Google Best Morning Routine Ever, you Google Lunide Lewis, that's what will come up. And social media are all Best Morning Routine. So do go on the website. I do have a free a book that I'm giving out, talking about how to wake up without whacking the snooze button every morning. And in there, I talk about the chronotype, how to find your chronotype, so you can know when's the best time to go to sleep and when's the best time to wake up, so that you can actually be intentional about building habits that will stick. And so go on the website, best morning routine ever, best morning routine ever.com, and you'll get the free ebook that will help you do just that. And then we start connecting, because I would love for you to give you the quiz. I would love to help you start. Let's adjust it. Let's assess your morning routine. Let's see
Mm.
where you are, and then we can take you to where you want to be.
Love it. Well, everybody, there you have it. If you were not in a good routine, you have exactly all the pieces that you just heard about. And obviously, all the pieces are on her website too that you need to get that routine set so you can better your business, better your marketing. It all comes together. Honestly, just better your life and family. It all is included in that, in my opinion. So, Dr. Lunide, thank you so much for taking the time to hop on. I had a blast, as I knew I would, as always. So thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. And I will put some of these into practice and let you know how they go.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Well, as always, I hope you learned at least one thing from today's episode. And hey, I'm thinking maybe you even learned two things today, because we dove into a lot of actionable things that you can do to make your morning more productive. And I will say, after this episode and interviewing her, I've put a lot of these things in place, and they do work. Drink water right in the morning, because didn't know that's how dehydrated you were in the morning. So I did that. I have been doing the meditation time in the morning and getting up earlier, and it's been fantastic. I actually have loved it, and it's been good. Cold shower part, Not a crazy fan of that one yet, but maybe I'll come around to that one. But they do work, and I hope you're able to take at least one or two of these things, put them in place, and have the best morning routine ever. And that is her website. So check it out, bestmorningroutineever.com. She's fantastic. She knows what she's talking about. Tune into her podcast as well, so you can have the best morning routine and most productive mornings you've ever had. We'll be here next week with another awesome guest on the Finally Marketing That Works podcast. We'll see you then.